What happens when a man is given the opportunity of a lifetime, but he chooses comfort instead of courage? What happens when a door opens wide, but the person who was meant to walk through it hesitates, complains, or delays? The tragedy is not that the door was never there. The tragedy is that the door was missed. History is full of moments where blessings were forfeited, not because they were denied, but because they were ignored. There are certain seasons where time itself carries weight. They are not ordinary days, they are decisive ones. These are moments when the heavens lean closer, when opportunities align, when breakthroughs are prepared. Yet in these very moments, mistakes are most costly. A man can labor for years, praying, fasting, hoping, and when the day of fulfillment arrives, one act of negligence, one wrong choice, one missed step can delay or destroy what God had already set in place. It is not that God changes his mind, it is that we mishandle the timing. The danger of such a mistake is not always visible immediately. Missing alignment rarely shouts its consequence on the same day. Instead, it unfolds quietly, sometimes months or years later, when you look back and realize that what could have been never was, because in one critical moment you were not ready. God does not fail to provide, but people fail to position themselves to receive. Blessings do not fall into unprepared hands. Gifts are not entrusted to those who cannot recognize their value. Timing is one of the most misunderstood principles of life. Many believe that as long as something is promised, it will automatically unfold, but the truth is that timing determines whether the promise will be realized or lost. A farmer understands this principle well. Planting seed out of season, no matter how good the seed may be, will not produce a harvest. The soil may be fertile, the seed may be healthy, but the wrong time cancels the potential. In the same way, when a divine opportunity arrives, it carries within it a window, and if that window is ignored, the gift connected to it can be delayed or even destroyed. Moments of destiny are not like ordinary days. They are sacred in their weight. They are moments when God has aligned circumstances, people, and provision for the fulfillment of what you have been preparing for. But if you treat these days like any other, you risk missing the appointed hour. The tragedy is not that God did not send the blessing, it is that it arrived and found you distracted, unprepared, or unwilling. A missed moment is often not noticed immediately. It only reveals itself later when you realize that what you prayed for was actually presented to you, but you failed to act. Obedience without regard to timing is incomplete. It is possible to do the right thing at the wrong time and end up with the wrong result. This is why sensitivity is so important. Timing is as much a part of obedience as the action itself. You may feel the urge to act, the pull to move, the conviction to speak, and if you delay or ignore it, the moment can pass. The door that was open will not remain open forever because timing is woven into the design of every opportunity. The weight of missing timing is that it can take years to circle back to what was once within reach. Some doors, once closed, do not reopen in the same way. Others may reopen, but only after great delay and cost. This is why timing must be honored. It is not enough to trust God's plan, you must also trust His clock. When He says move, you move. When He says wait, you wait. When He says speak, you speak. Disregarding that rhythm can cost you more than you imagined. This is where discipline plays its role. Discipline keeps you ready so that when the moment arrives, you do not have to scramble in panic. Those who live carelessly often miss timing because they are never prepared when destiny knocks. Preparation ensures that when opportunity comes, you can step into it with confidence. Readiness meets timing, and together they produce fulfillment. Without readiness, timing will come and pass you by, leaving regret in its place. The truth is that timing and obedience are inseparable. You cannot claim obedience if you neglect timing, and you cannot honor timing if you refuse obedience. Both work together as the bridge between promise and fulfillment. God's gifts are never random. They are intentional, precise, and deeply tied to purpose. When something is meant for you, it is already prepared, already designed with your name written on it. But the reality is that preparation on your part is what makes receiving possible. You cannot step into something you are not ready to handle. A blessing given too soon can feel like a burden, and what was meant to elevate you can instead overwhelm you if you have not built the structure to sustain it. Readiness is not only about desire, it is about capacity. Think of a child who inherits a great estate. The estate may be his by right, but without maturity, discipline, and wisdom, he cannot manage it. The gift is not denied, but it is delayed until the child grows into the level of responsibility it requires. In the same way, many of the things we pray for are not withheld from us out of denial, but out of protection. God will not entrust abundance to someone who will misuse it, waste it, or allow it to destroy them. Readiness, therefore, becomes the measure by which gifts are released. Readiness shows itself in the daily disciplines of life. The way you manage your time, your resources, your relationships, and even your thoughts is proof of whether or not you are prepared. You cannot expect to be given influence over many if you are careless with the little you already have. You cannot expect to step into greater responsibility if you are still avoiding accountability in smaller matters. Growth in the unseen places is what qualifies you for gifts in the visible ones. The universe itself respects preparation because it recognizes order, and order attracts increase. When people miss what was meant for them, it is rarely because the gift did not come. It is more often because when it came, they were not in position to receive it. They were distracted, unprepared, or unwilling to make the sacrifices required. A prepared life recognizes opportunity, while an unprepared life overlooks it. Readiness sharpens your vision so you can see what others ignore. It gives you the ability to act quickly when the moment presents itself, instead of hesitating and letting it slip away. This is why waiting seasons are so critical. They are not empty delays, they are classrooms of preparation. It is in those seasons that character is built, endurance is forged, and wisdom is developed. Without that process, even if the gift arrived, you would not have the capacity to sustain it. The waiting is not punishment. It is the training ground where you are shaped into someone who can carry the weight of what has been promised. God's intention is never simply to give, it is to entrust. And trusting means He is looking not only at what you want, but at who you are becoming. If who you are does not match what you are asking for, then the gap must be closed through preparation. The gift is already yours in heaven's design, but its manifestation on earth waits for your readiness to meet it. Distraction is one of the most subtle but destructive forces that can derail a destiny. It rarely comes in the form of something obviously harmful. Instead, it often appears as something small, something harmless, something that feels urgent but is not truly important. The danger is that while you are busy giving your time and energy to what does not matter, the moment that does matter passes by unnoticed. The enemy does not always have to destroy opportunities. He only has to keep you too occupied to see them. Distraction often disguises itself as business. You can fill your days with endless tasks, conversations, and obligations that make you feel productive, but none of them take you closer to your purpose. Activity is not the same as progress. Many people are exhausted not because they are carrying great purpose, but because they are carrying unnecessary weight. Their energy is divided, their focus is scattered, and as a result, they miss the very thing that was meant to change their lives. Another form of distraction comes through conflict. Arguments, offenses, and misunderstandings can consume the heart and blind the eyes. When you allow bitterness, anger, or resentment to take over, you give your attention to battles that do not advance your future. The enemy delights in keeping people entangled in small disputes, so they are too weary to fight for what truly matters. A distracted heart cannot recognize a divine moment because it is preoccupied with wounds instead of vision. Distraction also comes through temptation. It is the lure of shortcuts, the appeal of what looks easier, faster, or more glamorous. But shortcuts often bypass the process that prepares you for longevity. What looks like a quicker way forward is usually a slower path backward, because it robs you of the growth needed to sustain the blessing. The temptation of distraction is not always in its appearance, but in the time it steals. Even a small compromise can cause you to miss alignment with the greater plan that was set before you. Guarding against distraction requires intentional focus. Focus is not automatic, it is chosen daily. It means learning to say no to what may be good in order to protect what is essential. It means recognizing that not every invitation is worth accepting, not every conversation is worth continuing, and not every opportunity is worth pursuing. Focus sharpens your ability to discern between noise and signal, between what pulls you away and what draws you closer to purpose. The tragedy of distraction is not only what it steals from today, but what it costs in the future. A missed moment can take years to regain, and some may never return in the same way. That is why distraction must be treated as an enemy, not a minor inconvenience. To guard your attention is to guard your destiny, because where your focus goes, your life follows. A focused life recognizes opportunity when it arrives and has the strength to seize it fully. Not every delay in life is divine. Some delays are the direct result of human error. It is easy to assume that whenever progress slows or opportunities seem to slip away, it must be because God is testing or teaching, but often the truth is far simpler. Choices, negligence, or disobedience create barriers that were never meant to be there. God may have already prepared the blessing, but when actions are careless, when priorities are misplaced, or when faith is substituted with fear, the gift cannot be received in its intended time. There are countless examples of how mistakes can delay destiny. A lack of preparation causes many to stand before open doors, unready to walk through them. Poor stewardship of time, money, or relationships can result in opportunities passing by because trust has not been built. Sometimes it is not what others did, but what we failed to do, ignoring the promptings to act, postponing the work that should have been started, or choosing comfort over commitment. These are not divine delays, they are human ones, and they often cost more than we realize. The danger in misinterpreting human error as divine delay is that it keeps people passive. They convince themselves that waiting is holy, when in fact their inactivity is the true obstacle. They pray for God to move while ignoring the areas where He has already given them authority to act. This mindset can stretch seasons unnecessarily, turning what should have been a short test into a prolonged wilderness. Recognizing the difference between God's timing and personal mistakes is crucial for growth because it keeps accountability alive. When progress is halted, wisdom requires honest reflection, asking questions like, "Did I prepare as I should have?" or "Did I act when I was prompted?" often reveals the real source of delay. Self-examination is not meant to bring shame but clarity. Once you see where a mistake was made, you can correct course. The worst mistake is not in missing the moment, but in refusing to acknowledge why it was missed. Repentance and correction realign you with the path forward, but denial only deepens the delay. The hope in all of this is that even when mistakes cause delay, God's purpose remains intact. What He intends does not disappear because of error, though it may be postponed. The key is to learn quickly, adjust faithfully, and refuse to repeat the same errors. Some lessons are costly, but they are never wasted if they lead to maturity. Delay does not have to mean denial, but denial of responsibility can turn delay into permanent loss. Taking ownership of choices restores power, and with that power comes the ability to reposition yourself for what was already prepared. Wisdom is what allows you to see what others overlook, to hear what others ignore, and to act when others hesitate. It is not just knowledge, because knowledge can be collected and stored without ever being applied. Wisdom is knowledge in motion, truth lived out, and understanding turned into discernment. Without wisdom, even the greatest opportunities can be wasted, because you will not recognize their value. With wisdom, however, you can navigate moments with clarity, knowing when to step forward, when to wait, when to speak, and when to remain silent. The difference between success and regret is often not strength, not talent, not resources, but wisdom guiding the choices you make in decisive seasons. There is a fine line between waiting in faith and wasting time in passivity. Many convince themselves they are standing still out of patience, but in reality, they are paralyzed by fear or distracted by indecision. Wisdom helps you discern the difference. Waiting in faith is active. It is a time of preparation, prayer, and sharpening your character so that when the moment comes, you are ready to seize it. Wasting, however, drains your energy while giving nothing in return. It is when procrastination disguises itself as spirituality, when excuses sound like caution, and when opportunities pass by under the mask of, "It's not the right time." Wisdom strips away those illusions and forces you to confront whether your waiting is purposeful or wasteful. Every decision carries weight beyond the moment in which it is made. This is why wisdom is essential. You may think you are choosing something small, something insignificant, but that choice sets in motion a chain reaction that extends into your future. A single word can open or close doors. A single act of integrity can build trust for years, while a single compromise can undo it in seconds. Wisdom gives you the perspective to see that choices are never isolated. They ripple outward, affecting your relationships, your opportunities, and even the generations after you. To live without wisdom is to gamble with destiny, but to walk in wisdom is to steward destiny carefully. Wisdom also protects you from the illusion of shortcuts. In moments of waiting, impatience will always tempt you to move faster than the process allows. A path that seems quicker often bypasses the very growth required to sustain the blessing. Wisdom reminds you that preparation cannot be skipped. It teaches you that timing is as important as action, and that stepping out too soon can cost more than standing still a little longer. Foolishness seeks convenience, but wisdom seeks alignment. Alignment ensures that when the opportunity arrives, you are not only ready to receive it, but capable of sustaining it long term. Another gift of wisdom is the ability to silence the noise around you. In a world full of opinions, advice, and distractions, it is easy to lose your sense of direction. Everyone will have something to say about your choices, your timing, your path, but not all voices carry truth. Wisdom enables you to filter what you hear, to separate counsel from confusion, and to follow conviction rather than pressure. Without wisdom, you will be swayed by every opinion, constantly shifting course, never settling into the purpose designed for you. With wisdom, you stand firm, even when misunderstood, because you know what aligns with your destiny and what does not. Wisdom is also the guardrail that keeps you from sabotaging yourself. Many times people are not destroyed by external enemies, but by internal errors. Pride, impatience, greed, and fear have ruined more destinies than open opposition ever could. Wisdom checks those impulses, reminding you of the bigger picture when your emotions try to drive you off course. It teaches you restraint, discipline, and humility, qualities that may feel uncomfortable in the moment, but protect you from long-term regret. The strength of wisdom is not always in what it pushes you to do, but in what it prevents you from doing. Finally, wisdom aligns you with divine order. It opens your eyes to patterns, to seasons, to the flow of time itself. It teaches you that there are appointed moments that carry more weight than others, and that missing them is costly. Wisdom keeps you sensitive to these moments, so that when destiny knocks, you are not distracted, unprepared, or indifferent. Instead, You are alert, decisive, and positioned to act. Without wisdom, you may live your life surrounded by open doors, yet never walk through them. With wisdom, every step you take brings you closer to what was always intended for you. There are certain moments in life that will never come again, windows that open for a short time and then close forever. These are not ordinary days, they are appointments with destiny. Missing them is not like missing a bus that will circle back around. Once they pass, they cannot be reclaimed. This is why awareness is so important. Most people miss these divine moments not because they are evil or rebellious, but because they are distracted. They treat significant days as though they are common. They assume tomorrow will give them the same chance, but tomorrow may not offer it again. What you do with the critical moment in front of you can determine the course of your life for years to come. Life has a rhythm, and within that rhythm, there are appointed times. These times may not announce themselves loudly. They may come disguised as small decisions, ordinary conversations, or subtle opportunities. The danger is in overlooking them because they do not look as grand as expected. A handshake that seems casual could carry the introduction that changes everything. A prompt to step out of your comfort zone may feel minor, but could be the very action that propels you into a new dimension. The wisdom of life is in recognizing that the greatest doors rarely come with flashing lights. They come quietly, testing your discernment to see if you are paying attention. The tragedy of missed moments is that their impact is often invisible at first. You may pass by an opportunity thinking it was insignificant, only to look back later and realize it was the hinge on which your destiny was turning. What makes this even more dangerous is that missed moments are rarely reversible. Some doors, once closed, remain closed. That does not mean new opportunities will never arise, but it does mean that the exact one you ignored will not return. Every appointed time carries a unique combination of people, circumstances, and divine alignment. When it passes, the alignment shifts, and you cannot recreate it. This is why vigilance is critical. Distraction is the thief of destiny. The world is full of noise designed to pull your focus away from what truly matters. Endless entertainment, constant comparison, and even business can blind you to the significance of the present. Many are so preoccupied with chasing what's next that they fail to notice what is now. They pray for miracles while ignoring the small instructions that would position them to receive those miracles. They ask for blessings while disregarding the moments that require their obedience. The enemy of destiny is not always opposition. Sometimes it is simply inattention. Preparation plays a vital role in this. Even when you recognize a moment, if you are unprepared, you cannot seize it fully. Think of the student who neglects study only to realize the exam day is the appointed time for all the preparation to bear fruit. Think of the businessperson who spends years ignoring discipline, only to find that when the opportunity for expansion arises, they lack the systems to handle it. Recognizing a moment is not enough. You must also have the readiness to act when it arrives. Readiness is built in the unseen days, long before the critical moment presents itself. Those who prepare consistently are the ones able to capitalize when the door opens. There is also the danger of hesitation. Some recognize the moment but delay in responding, waiting for perfect conditions that never come. Fear whispers reasons to postpone, logic offers excuses, and doubt magnifies risks. Yet destiny does not wait for comfort. Opportunities are designed for those willing to act in faith. Even when they feel unqualified or uncertain, hesitation can be just as costly as ignorance, because delay allows the moment to pass untouched. The world belongs to those who recognize and act, not merely to those who recognize and pause. Every person must train themselves to be sensitive, discerning, and decisive. This means cultivating a life of focus, where distractions are minimized and awareness is sharpened. It means valuing each day as though it carries significance because you never know which day is the appointed one. It means keeping your spirit alert, your mind sharp, and your character ready so that when the moment comes, you are not caught sleeping. Many lose destiny not because they were never chosen, but because when their time came, they were absent in spirit even if present in body. The reality is sobering, but it is also empowering. While missed moments cannot be regained, awareness of their importance can transform the way you live now. Treat each encounter with care, each decision with weight, and each day as though it may hold the key to your future. If you live like that, you will not stumble into destiny by accident. You will step into it with intention, clarity, and readiness. There is a truth many overlook: the outcomes of your life are not only shaped by what God intends to give you, but also by what you are willing to protect. Every gift requires stewardship. Every opportunity demands responsibility. Destiny is not self-sustaining. It must be guarded, nurtured, and preserved with vigilance. What you fail to protect can be stolen, corrupted, or destroyed, not because it wasn't meant for you, but because you did not value it enough to shield it. Many people receive a blessing, but only a few sustain it, and the difference lies in their ability to guard what was entrusted to them. The first threat to what you are given often comes from within. Doubt, fear, and insecurity are some of the most effective enemies of destiny. A person can receive a door-opening opportunity, yet sabotage themselves with unbelief, convincing themselves they are not worthy or capable. In doing so, they abandon what was placed in their hands before anyone else can take it. Protecting what you are given begins with protecting your mind from the lies that tell you you cannot carry what has already been assigned to you. The moment you entertain those lies, you weaken your grip on your gift. Another danger lies in carelessness. Blessings can be squandered not through malice but through neglect. Relationships collapse when they are not nurtured. Resources disappear when they are not managed. Dreams fade when they are not pursued with consistency. The universe may present you with a season of open doors, but if you walk through unprepared, without discipline, without strategy, you can find yourself overwhelmed and unable to handle what you prayed for. Protecting what you are given means refusing to treat it as ordinary. It requires an intentional commitment to maintain and strengthen it daily. There are also external threats, voices, people, and influences that seek to undermine or drain what has been entrusted to you. Some will come cloaked as friends, but carry envy in their hearts. Others will tempt you with shortcuts, urging you to compromise for quick results at the cost of long-term purpose. Protecting what you are given requires discernment, the ability to separate counsel from corruption, allies from adversaries. It means surrounding yourself with people who honor your vision rather than those who secretly hope to see it fail. Not everyone deserves access to what you carry, and wisdom teaches you to guard your inner circle with care. Distraction is another thief. It rarely comes in the form of obvious destruction, but often through busyness and noise. A distracted mind cannot protect what matters most because its focus is divided among lesser things. Many lose their blessings not because they were attacked, but because they were distracted, chasing shadows while neglecting substance. Protecting what you are given demands focus, choosing to invest energy in the essentials while refusing to be consumed by the trivial. It is the discipline of prioritizing destiny over entertainment, growth over comfort, and purpose over popularity. One of the most subtle dangers is complacency. The moment you assume that what you have will always be there is the moment you stop defending it. History is filled with stories of people who reached great heights, only to lose everything because they forgot that success requires continual vigilance. Complacency whispers that effort is no longer necessary, that discipline can be relaxed, that attention can be diverted. But what is unguarded becomes vulnerable. Protecting what you are given means refusing to let success lull you into carelessness, staying humble and hungry no matter how much progress you have made. At times, protection also requires sacrifice. You cannot keep everything and still preserve what truly matters. Some relationships, habits, or environments must be released because they threaten the stability of what you are building. It is not always easy to let go, but wisdom recognizes that keeping certain things may cost you everything. To protect your blessing, you must be willing to say no to what drains it, no to what distracts it, no to what dilutes it. Sacrifice becomes a shield, ensuring that nothing competes with the priority of your purpose. Ultimately, protecting what you are given means living with the awareness that destiny is fragile if neglected, but powerful when guarded. Every opportunity carries within it the potential for increase, but only if it is handled with care. Protection is not passive, it is active. It is the daily choice to watch over your words, your actions, your relationships, your thoughts, and your habits, knowing that all of them contribute to whether what you were given thrives or fades. To receive without guarding is to invite loss, but to guard faithfully is to ensure that what was entrusted to you grows into all it was meant to be.